Mixing it up.
Does it make a difference?
Well, actually, what's quite interesting is that one of them, Bradley, is playing Ghost Reaper and Wind Cherries.
Okay,
so that could actually be relevant.
Is he playing that in the main deck?
In the side deck.
Oh, in the side deck.
3 in the side deck.
Okay, that's
He's
cool.
also got some Deflectors.
Darkest Morgue, just for good measure.
Yeah, you never know. You never know when. Why is he playing Darkest Morgue? I guess it's for like clear demise and stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just trying to find which wind monster he's banishing for that, but it's probably in the extra deck somewhere. He always has strange things. Oh yeah,
why not Zenmaito?
Zenmaito, yeah.
We both saw that Zenmaito was real weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should just take it to the table.
Yeah, let's head to the table and have tons of fun.
Let's get our game on here in round 6. Oh, some fantastic World Championships 2014 sleeves.
Oh, Rimini. I remember that.
Sam Shepard there.
Food was so good there.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It really was. It was fantastic. Okay, so we're just going to get a quick picture of their hands here so we know exactly what you want to do.
For anybody who's interested in UK lore, this one's actually the Welsh Dragon, that St. George Slade. Will we see a repeat of that today? We will have to wait and see.
Okay, so getting straight into the hands here, we have a Kuraz, Red Layer, Ether, Edier, and Return of the Monarchs for Bradley, and Sam. Few more spell cards going on inside his hand. He has Idea, Eidos, and then Frostblast, Tenacity, Pathism.
Okay, and we're going to see straight out of the gates the special summon of the Red Layer, and then we're going to see Idea to Idios, and then Return of the Monarch, and then Ether. Ether is going to send 2 cards to the graveyard. Erebos is going to be added to his hand, so he's immediately right here. He's going to be set up for the rest of the game. As soon as you get that Prime Monarch on the go with a few spell cards, in the Monarch deck, you're pretty much good to go for the rest of the match.
He's just getting on with it.
Well, not match, but for the rest of the duel.
Yeah, he's just getting on with it.
You see how fast, you can see how many times he's done this today.
So he's summoning Ether here to add it back to his hand in the end phase. It's for no other reason.
And then he can use it to tribute his onboard Ether to then summon Kuraz if he needs to, or he can go Erebus if he wants to add that to his hand.
Yeah. So he added Erebus from Return, so he now has Erebus and Ether in his hand at the moment.
He did draw the Kuraz. I don't know how many Kurazes he's actually playing. Free. Bradley is playing free Kuraz, the Light Monarch. And the Ether is going to return to hand in the end phase, and that's a very, very strong start for Bradley, who I've just heard is Scottish, actually. So the St. George reference wasn't... Oh, he may be Scottish. Like it. Thank you, Jarvis. Okay. I'm getting some notes.
Okay, drew into a Monarch Stormforth here. It's really important. He's going to straight away use Pathism. Probably going to go and get Tenacity. He's most likely looking for his Return of the Monarchs, I think.
Yeah, he's going to need it to keep up in this match, especially since Bradley has already searched for most of the cards he needs, and anything he gets now is just additional benefit to him.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where he decides to go for here. Okay, so he's showing the Stormforth and then Pathism as well. He's going to allow him to take a Stormforth. He already had one, which is really strange why he decided to go ahead and do that. I'm a little bit confused as to why he chose those.
That's interesting. I'm wondering if he did that to try and bait his opponent into choosing the Pathism.
Potentially.
But he could have just searched for free Pathism if he really wanted the Pathism.
No, because he just banished one.
Ah, okay, so yeah.
Not possible.
Oh, of course, sorry. I don't know where I am right now.
Okay, so he's going to set a monster. What did he have in his hand? I think that might just be an Eidos.
Oh, this could be really bad. I mean...
It's quite defensive here. I don't know why he played so defensive.
It isn't. No, he can't use the Ether effect in the end phase.
No, it's got to be during the main phase. I don't think he's going to use it here, to be honest. Unless he does really want to just clean up his opponent's back rows. Even then, it'd still be main phase, so he'd be able to set whatever.
He could then be able to play whatever else he had.
Yeah. So Bradley here is really thinking about this. Sam is just waiting to see what his opponent wants to do. Yeah. So he is going to play Ether. And he's building the chain correctly, so Ether's going to go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2 is going to be Monarch Stormforth. So he's tributing his opponent's face down, which is actually another idea. And then both idea effects as well as Ether are going to trigger. Yeah, there's no... They're declaring their chain links quite heavily here, but there's no real need because all of the effects can resolve. In any order really, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's just when you need to crack out your old Vanity's Cool. I think it is the counter trap that you can only activate it chain link 4 or higher, pay half your life points, negate everything on the chain, and banish all of those cards.
I actually forgot what it's called. I knew there was a card that existed. I just can't.
It's like enjoy your free link chain, Monarch, as I take away all of your options.
That's cool. I couldn't remember what it's called.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Vanity's Cool.
Vanity's Cool. Okay, cool. So we're still in main phase 1 now. So Sam's gonna continue here. We have 3 ethers on the board right now for Bradley.
That is way more than 8,000 damage right there.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Yeah, it is
8-4.
more than 8,000.
8-4.
Yeah, I was just thinking, wait a second.
It's 8-4. Because Demise Doomdozer Metamorph was 8,000.
Yeah.
That's how I remember. Strange, I know. Okay, wow, so Sam is still going here. And he's gonna delve into the extra deck here. I don't know what he's gonna be able to search for.
You could go Volcasaurus if you really wanted to just get some damage in, but then that doesn't really accomplish much.
No, and even if he ups into Gaia Charger, still not enough.
You could go Pleiades, but I just feel like returning the Ethers is just a losing proposition.
Yeah. One of them's going back to the hand in the end phase anyway. I just don't know what he's going to get. Let's have a look. What else has he? What other options has he got?
Durandal. Okay.
That's really weird. Unless he wants to shuffle his 4 cards back. Okay, he's actually shuffling his hand back. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. So now it's just a matter of waiting to see what Sam gets in his hand here. If he can continue to play or not. Because Durandal's not big enough to get over any of these Monarchs. Always gets confusing when you're both playing in the same coloured sleeves.
And the same deck.
Yeah, the same deck.
You could theoretically draw from the opponent's deck and still not realise you've accidentally taken the wrong deck back.
That is a really good point.
I really hope that doesn't happen, because
Yeah.
that would be an absolute disaster. But just be mindful when you're doing these shuffles and cuts.
Yeah.
Can you make out any of the cards in Sam's hand there?
No, I can't see any. I think one of them's a trap card.
I do like how you're leaning a little bit to look around, like you're trying to look around his hand, and we're looking at a flat surface. it's actually kind of funny. I don't know why.
Okay, so did he just pass here?
I think he passed after he used the shuffle, because we're seeing Pantheism.
I don't feel like Sam's in a great position here. I think his opponent just opened far better. In all honesty.
Yeah, it was a lightning fast turn 1. You can see Bradley's practiced that combination of cards. He probably was just looking for a match of 3 particular cards, and since he sees that, he knows how his field can end up, so he's just using a lot of mental shortcuts to get there.
Yeah, definitely. You could tell that just his brain was so connected up there where it needed to be.
Which is great, because you do find a lot of players that are high level players that will choose to play decks that they think are a lot simpler, and you actually see in tournaments that they end up going to time very frequently because they haven't memorized the correct shortcuts in order to maximize the number of plays they're going to make out of this deck. We actually get criticized a lot about that, saying that the round times should be longer, or that we've made the decks too complicated. And when you see someone like Bradley, for example, then very, very quickly making these plays, this is kind of like, if you're serious about playing a complicated deck, you need to know this. This is actually part of the skill cap of the deck.
Yeah.
That the clock is an important part of the duel.
Yeah. It really is. You just got to get on with it sometimes.
So that's something if you're looking to practice the best deck, just make sure you know the shortcuts so that you are able to make your moves in a timely fashion. I mean, if you're spending 5 minutes playing your first turn because you have to think about everything way too hard, then you're not about many turns.
It's not about being able to cut out parts of the game that are important to clarify game state or anything. It's just about knowing that you need to go from whatever you've got in your hand right now to this other thing, and the steps A, B, and C in the middle are the steps that you need to take. Sometimes, especially with Necros, it was a big problem.
Yeah, you saw so many people that so many high-level players that hadn't memorized those shortcuts going to time, and then complaining that they just lose by a few life points, or the Valkyries just taking you out there.
Yeah, it's about knowing that this card A and B can get me all the way to card F, just through this combo. It's knowing those little bits of combos, little snippets that get you.
Yeah, if you haven't been playing Fire King Cosmo, there are resources out there. You can look at where people have actually already written. Here's what you start with, and here's where you end up. If you look for those, they can help you out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not suggesting that all the decisions are easy.
Oh no, there are going to be complicated times, but the times that you want to have time in the bank to think about those complicated turns.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, you still have to make all your moves in a reasonable time, but if you're rapidly approaching end of match and you've been thinking into the tank every turn, you're going to find that you haven't actually progressed the game very far before you end up having to worry about who's got the last turn of time.
Yeah. So I use the combo with Kuraz there, where you can set up the chain links in a certain way, where when you summon Kuraz, you can still use return, but also use it as a target for Kuraz.
And then you get to draw additional cards and search for more Monarchs.
Yep. I'm really, in honesty, in just the past few rounds that we've been doing here, I've really started to like the extra deck version of Monarchs much more.
Yeah, than the domain version.
Yeah, I'm starting to think like so I was playing the domain version, and just it keeps this kind of. I kept drawing and gaining loads of advantage and not really doing much with it, but I keep seeing these guys. He's got a ton of cards in hand if ready to be used if necessary, and then just being able to have that extra exceed capability with the Prime Monarch is really good.
Yeah, and also when the most feared matchup in the format is the Cosmo match, which can survive very much without their extra deck. Just giving up that extra deck ability on your Monarch deck gives you so many more options for something that your opponent wasn't too worried about in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty reasonable trade-off. Although what you do is you just kind of make it a little bit easier for PK Fire to get further in the tournament by taking the domains out of the pool.
Yeah, I mean, Brad. So a lot of the players before the tournament were saying to me, "Oh, BA is the one to watch. BA is the one to watch." We've actually not seen many this during today, but Bradley.
We saw Raid Raptors BA. Sorry, Ultimate Falcon BA.
Yeah, I think Bradley has taken that into account, which is why he's still using the Ghost Reaper.
Yeah, if he was talking at the start of the tournament, because you see people make these last minute changes to deck lists, you can see where the cards have been scribbled out.
Yeah, actually, these are two of the worst deck lists for it. There's so many cards that have just been scribbled out, and even multiple times here. You can see that Sam Shepard he's crossed out how many Royal Decrees he was going to play 4 times before he got to the number that he wanted to play. So he's actually in a tough spot here. He needs to decide what he's gonna get. So he's gonna go with the Kuraz. So this is the thing with Monarch, so you can get loads and loads of advantage and not really do much with it.
Yeah, it's essentially because at the end of the day, your normal summon is the most important part, and you only get one of those per turn.
Yeah, so he's only drawing one from Kuraz. I know you don't want to be giving your opponents cards, but I feel at this point, Bradley's turn has lasted so long, and he's used all of his normal summon and whatever that popping with Kuraz, and then just hoping to be able to do a big field next turn might have been a better play, but we'll see how it plays out now. Yeah, so Bradley's just, I think he's just trying to make a good field at this point. I actually don't know why he's looking at his deck at this point. I've lost track of the effects that have been happening. I think he's searching for tenacity.
Maybe it's like 3-4 cards down.
Yeah. Oh, Patheism. Okay, we can't see the banish pile. He's searching for Patheism.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So yeah, so he's got double Stormforth and Return of the Monarchs. So he's obviously playing multiple copies of Return of the Monarchs, playing the full 3 copies. So what did he pick? Return, I think.
Yeah, he got Return.
Yeah, he got Return. So Bradley actually has loads of cards in his hand. He's got like 6 cards or something.
Okay, we're going up to Gaia.
Up to Gaia Charger. Still, I don't think that's going to help because Ether's too big. Just putting Ether in the way makes it kind of.
Oh, there's the. He can
Domain.
actually attack with his Kuraz because he's used the effect this time.
Yeah. And Domain's not going to help him too much. But I'm trying to think if he actually has normal summon this turn. I don't think he has.
It was so long ago.
Yeah. His turn has taken forever. Okay, so he's going to use Eidos. And then he's going to tribute. Oh, yeah, so obviously the idea's effect, get another Eidos from deck. He's getting a bit of traction here. So he's going to be able to do a big tribute summon now, maybe even Erebus. He might even be able to get his opponent into range of finishing off next turn. Okay, so there's Ether. And Return as well. I'm surprised he has so many targets left. I think Ether can just send a load of big monsters. He just sends a ton of big monsters. Summons a big monster. He's well in position for being able to take all of his opponent's life points away this turn. Ah, okay, yeah, he's got it, because he's going to be able to Kuraz, pop the Ether, overlay into a rank 6. Oh no, he can't, sorry. Yeah, he can, because he's going to destroy that with Kuraz. Genius, yeah, overlay into a rank 6.
Which rank 6 would he be going for?
Shark Fortress.
Oh, for the double attacks, because he
Sounds
gets
promising.
the... oh, he's burning up his domain.
Or he might just get Pleiades or something.
Beyond. Utopia Beyond. And that's going to drop his opponent's attack to 0.
Yeah.
Which will allow him to attack over for 3,000, 2,600 and 2,800.
Or he might just go for a monster who can... Oh yes, in fact no, he can't overlay because
He's
because
used
of
the
Edia. Yeah, very good point. We're not very good at tracking these. Yeah, we're pretty awful at remembering that, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I can't defend that.
And then that's going to pierce over the top of Prime Monarch, but still.
Yeah, and neither of the Kuraz is going to attack this turn.
Yeah. Yeah, apologies, that was a very, very long turn. Okay, so.
How long was that turn actually? Was anyone actually timing that? about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a long turn.
Okay.
It wasn't just him though; it was Sam as well. So let's see here. He's going to go open up straight with the Patheism. He's got to decide where he's going to go. This, in all honesty, this must be really, really intense for these players. These players must be struggling in this match here.
It's kind of grueling, especially if you're playing multiples of these mirrors across a whole tournament.
Yeah.
Because if you just make a single misstep, it is very easy to just lose these games. Because you're managing so many cards at once, there's a lot of opportunities to make mistakes. Despite there being a lot of cards that may make people roll their eyes and say, "Oh yeah, Stormforth," these kinds of mirror matches they can be very, very punishing if you make the mistakes.
Yeah. It's just really intense. Again, so Bradley doesn't have any monsters that can attack over a big 2/8 monster right now. Or anything, sorry, I should say anything that can defend against a big 2/8 monster. What's really strange about this, it's been going on for such a long time. Both players, you can see their graveyard's full, their banish pile's full. Both of them are still on almost full life points.
Yeah, because of
There's
the
no damage.
Ethers and Erebuses and Fairy Fists, things like this, you and Pantheism, so you get through the deck so fast. You can, when you don't brick, as you say, which is for those maybe not familiar with the term, where you draw cards that are basically blanks because you can't use them, because they're too many high level monsters. All of your Monarch spell and trap support without actually getting any of your Monarchs. They call them a brick hand, essentially when your hand is 5 cards that don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
When that doesn't happen, you can quite easily get through the entire deck.
So I think that we might be approaching time here. It's
Really?
taking quite a long time. It's been taking a very long time.
We can't be approaching time. It's been like 2 turns.
Yeah, so is that 30 minutes? So we're 30 minutes into the round.
What?
Yeah.
Did I zone out completely?
we're 30 minutes into this.
When did this happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna see a Twin Twister.
Clear out some Prime Monarch. Okay. Yeah, 30 minutes in, and we've not even seen any damage really. Yeah.
Oh, we've got 200 piercing.
That was it. That was the only damage that we've seen all game.
But you know what? That could be enough to decide the
That
game
could
if
be
you go on much longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if the players ever realise this much time passes. I mean, that's actually a question for you guys in the chat. When you're playing tournaments and you have some more of these more intensive turns, do you generally know the time is passing, or does it come as a surprise when you hear that, yeah, that's time on the round?
I'm super paranoid about time, in all honesty. So
I am. I wouldn't play a deck that takes me forever to think of a move, because if I'm going to go to a tournament and be serious about it, I want to know all the shortcuts, and especially how Bradley came out of the gates lightning fast, and now we've kind of slowed down. I wouldn't feel comfortable about it, but I know some players. Well, I would imagine some players are very much like it comes as a surprise.
Yeah, I just constantly look at the clock. Like I'm always looking at the clock to see how much time is left.
As long as you're not looking at the clock and going, now I'll make my move.
Then it's fine.
Going, hold on a second. I don't respond. Oh, so I get the last turn of time? Okay,
No,
that's fine, because that's not okay.
That's not okay. That's not okay at all. Yeah, so it's just, yeah, this is a long game.
Oh, don't worry.
Instant fusion.
It's a fusion. I'm going to be summoning Panzer Dragoon. We're going to see an Xe summon, Volcasaurus. This Volcasaurus...
It's going to destroy the other Volcasaurus.
No, it's going to destroy the Gaia Dragon Charger.
Yeah, it's got Volcasaurus underneath it.
Okay, yeah, so in a roundabout way, you're right.
And then he's probably going to put his Gaia Charger over it. So we're actually going to see some damage now.
We're getting there. Yeah, that's going to be 2,600 life points worth of damage. And Volcasaurus gets upgraded into Gaia Charger.
So that's another play that we've not seen since the format with hands artifact trap tricks. The being able to summon a rank 5 and then going up into Gaia charge is just not something we've seen recently.
Yeah, and the piercing is relevant. And then it's something to just keep in mind on your cards, because pretty much nobody willingly plays their monsters in defense mode unless they're losing.
Or unless they're attacking, it's just so little that it's just never worth putting them in attack mode.
Yeah, okay. Well, you've got this like the Prime Monarch and stuff, but the 200 damage over a couple of turns, it is something, especially in these longer kinds of matches where time is a factor.
Yeah. So Sam actually played that perfectly. He played his idea after he did all of his Exceed summoning, which played around that restriction. I think he's checking to see if the activation of Aether is legal. He thinks it is. That's the thing. If you activate Aether and then you're only sending some of the cards that you really don't want to send to the graveyard, that can be quite troublesome.
Yeah, they can't have many Monarch cards left in the deck. Look how small that deck is.
Yeah.
What's that, around 15 cards?
Yeah, something like that.
His extra deck is probably larger than his main deck at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to possibly be seeing some big attacks this turn.
Yeah. So he's just got a bunch of monsters on the field.
1600 piercing.
That could even be king, in fact.
It depends if his opponent has an Aether. I don't know if he does.
But if not, then this is the full damage here. He's going to pierce over the top of Edia with the Thunder Charger, and he's just going to be able to attack over with all these really, really big tribute monsters.
And swing, there's going to be a Prime Monarch able to block one of these attacks.
Yeah. So he's going to block the red layer.
Yeah, because that'll force a replay, and then there's no opportunity to get that attack back.
So so coming into round 6 here, we're actually coming to a close in the event. We've got one last round left.
Yeah, one more round after this one.
The sun is slowly setting over Derby here.
Yeah, it looks kind of nice.
Yeah, actually, inside the roundhouse, the big circular venue, it looks really good when the sun's starting to set and it's getting quite low and reflecting through all of the windows and stuff. It actually looks fantastic.
For those of you who keep hearing the round circulation of tables, it's actually on an old train turntable, where the idea is that they actually move the trains off so they can take all the coal out of the trains and then reload them. If there's a train otaku in the crowd somewhere, that a little tidbit for you. That's where we're hanging out this weekend. Yeah,
you can actually see there's some of the like platforms that are just made of glass, so you can still see down there where they used to raise the trains up and down.
I'm paranoid about standing on glass. Like even when you see it in the street, and you can look into the basements of shops.
Yeah.
I've actually visited Tokyo Tower, and you've got these little glass windows, so you can sort of look down when you're at the top of it, and you always see these
scary.
You see some of the locals, the little kids are like jumping up and down on the glass, and you're just thinking, "You're crazy! What are you doing?" Of course, it's safe, but yeah, I just think it's like. It's tempting fate, some Final Destination stuff. You step on it and then one day you're just going to fall down.
Yeah, those grates. The grates are really weird.
Oh god, yeah.
You're walking through what you think is a ground level street, and it's actually there's a grate there, and you look down, and it's like, whoa! There's loads of things that aren't there for me to stand on. It's just a grate, big hole, scary.
Do you ever think we worry about things way too much that don't really matter?
I think just Final Destination just did it for everyone.
That movie changed people's lives. You know what?
Yeah.
It made me a nervous flyer. It made me nervous of race cars.
Roller coasters.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks.
Oh,
because we are actually quite close to a very big theme park in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite scary.
Okay, it's
So-
Bradley's turn. I'm not nervous of card games yet, so I'm just going to make sure that stays off the table.
So I think that Sam has just finished his turn. Bradley's just having a quick look through. That can't be his hand, surely. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
How is he got that many cards?
The question is what can he do? Yeah, well, he's going to have access to everything. At this point, he's so far into his deck. He's on 600 life points, though.
Yeah, he's very, very low here. Very, very low. And his opponent's got a big Monarch on the field as well. He summons the red layer. That's not a thing. You cannot add.
So, what's that?
Red layer can't target itself to add back to hand.
Yeah, I can.
Can it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's the exception. Well, I say it's the exception. It's one of the unique ones that can actually.
You can.
Go red layer, red layer, red layer, red layer.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I must say I only played the Super Quantums for a very short amount of time when it was all about making the super big quantum monster.
Yeah, I have a colleague in the office who I talk about frequently when I do these live streams. Mike Hooton. He built an Ignite Super Quantum deck, and the entire deck was to just make this really ridiculous giant monster. And he ended up with like 9 materials.
That's a second Volcasaurus.
It's like Jurassic Park.
He's playing 2 Volcasauruses. That's
Would
awesome.
that be the correct plural?
Volcasauruses.
Volcasauri? Would that be right?
Volcasauruses.
Well, either way, there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's another potential for huge damage right there.
Dinosaurs on fire.
We are going to see another ether being used, which is going to essentially make the target of that Volcasaurus disappear.
Okay, so we're getting pretty close to the end of the round now. So Sam decides to summon Erebus with the Ether effect.
We actually haven't seen an Erebus summoned this
He has
target.
so little cards. Look, he's struggling to shuffle. He has so little cards. Can you cut these cards, please?
Can you cut my deck of
Is that a
2, please?
second Gaia Charger?
Yep, it is. It's like watching the same first half of the
He's
duel
playing 2 Gaia Chargers.
again.
What? Oh, that just seems weird. He's going to call it a day,
Yeah,
just before time.
Yeah, he realizes he's not getting anywhere with that. Yeah, I can go. In actual fact, if he was going to do that, I feel like revealing the extra Gaia Charger was a mistake. It's just information you didn't need to give to your opponent if you knew that wasn't going anywhere. Or maybe he thought he had something and then it just wasn't going to pan out.
Anywhere.
So what are we going to see in the side decks?
Chaos
Maybe that'll make
Trapdoors.
something happen a little faster.
Ghost Reaper.
Yeah, that's true. They are playing pretty much identical extra decks here, so the Ghost Reapers could make a very big difference.
Yeah, especially if you get rid of both of the Volcasauri, then you'll be able to cut off your opponent's Gaia Charger access as well.
So essentially, you could potentially be taking away 4 extra deck cards away from your opponent with this.
Oh, apparently Volcasaurus is the plural.
Oh. Wow.
You learn something new every day.
We just learned something, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got 3 effect failures. Could be useful. Depends if he wants to go first or second. He just lost, he gets the pick. So maybe he's going to go second and then put in all the effect failures.
Yeah, the effect failures would be very good against the Idea. It can be quite useful against well, actually, Ether's never really summoned in your own turn very frequently, so.
No. He's playing massive restrict as well. I think people keep taking this attitude like we used to do with Dark Armed and Oppression.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's going back a bit.
Well, you play Dark Armed and then you play Oppression and then you say to your opponent, well, you can't do anything against my Dark Armed now because I have Oppression.
Yeah, it's essentially establishing a field and then making it so your opponent can't establish their field.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I'm really sorry for the people that have heard this story before a million times. There was a general mindset of the Dark Arms Defusion mirror match where at first it became about OTK using multiple Dark Arm Dragons Dimensional Fusion as quickly as possible. And then people, after playtesting the match, realised that the goal of the match, there's only 7 minutes left on the round, by the way, in case you're wondering, became winning on the counter swing, so making sure your opponent doesn't OTK you and then use all your Dark Arm Dragons to clear up their field, and then you win. And then somebody came along who changed that again. He said, okay, it should be about setting up your field and then making sure your opponent can't ever counter swing. And that's kind of where the format evolved next, and then people started playing Royal Oppression. And we've taken this this logic from many, many years ago and actually still apply it to deck building today, which is why we see Masker Restrict in a Monarch deck. It actually leaves you in a very open position where if you lose your field to, say, a Regeki or something, your own Masker Restrict can end up locking you out. But the idea is if your opponent hasn't had a chance to set up yet, if you flip that card, there's a very good chance your opponent just can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! And loses.
Yeah.
But it's something to keep in mind for you guys if you're playing any kinds of decks in the future where you have what the players affectionately call a floodgate card that would actually stop you from playing the game yourself.
Yeah. It does hit you, but at the same time, it just really simplifies the game state.
Okay, so this is Bradley's hand, I believe. We have an Erebus, a Monarch Stormforth, Return of the Monarchs, Heavenly Squire, and Quantum Red Lair.
On the side of Sam, we see a Prime Monarch, Return of the Monarchs, a Red Layer, Ether, and Eidos. So, I think I was just told that Sam went first.
It doesn't look like Sam's gone first. It looks very clearly like Bradley's. Bradley's gone first, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was corrected. Yeah, Bradley's going first. So, yeah, he's probably going to go first and hope that he has Massive Restrict.
Yeah, he hasn't drawn it, but he's going to make his opponent start with fewer cards off of the Erebus, and he's got the Ether set up.
Yeah, so it's interesting to know.
He's got Stormforth Ether.
Okay, so Bradley Wood here, just doing the plays.
Yep, we're going to see
doing the Monarch plays.
The
goes all out.
Triple Tenacity.
Yeah.
Tenacity is then going to go and search for something else.
So just for, I don't think we've actually made it super clear about how many rounds we're going to have throughout the weekend this weekend. So we actually have a full 10 rounds of Swiss, followed by top 64. So with it being the largest UK national championships ever, we've added those extra couple of rounds.
Yeah, we're actually only playing 7 rounds today.
Yeah.
So we've got a chance to recharge our batteries and get ready for the matches for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're rapidly approaching time on this one. But you will get one more match out of us at least today.
So Sam opens with Red Layer here. He has got a tough bet going on here because he got his cards reduced by Erebus. So he's going to flip the Stormforth here. So Bradley again is in a great spot here, taking away that Red Layer. He's going to add Erebus from the Return of the Monarchs. He's going to probably put another Patheism in his grave, do you think?
Potentially, he has already used one of his Tenacity, so he can't banish the Patheism. Yeah, he can.
No, he's just going to put Domain in. He's changed his mind.
Yeah, Domain.
So Domain goes in there, summons a Kuraz. He's most likely going to destroy his own return to get a card, and maybe even destroy Eidos as well.
Yeah, that would leave his opponent. His opponent doesn't have a Prime Monarch online yet, so.
Yeah, it would leave him with not much to do.
Oh no, he's just going to clear them, the 2 guys out and draw 2 cards.
Draw some cards. That's fair enough. And now he's got 2 big monsters on the field.
Instant Fusion.
So Sam, the Instant Fusion, yeah. That's who he's going to get. And yeah, the Panzer Dragon. So Panzer Dragon really kind of defining card as far as Instant Fusion was concerned. It was the first Instant Fusion target that was useful even when you don't use it for something else, because when it gets destroyed in the end phase, when Panzer Dragon's destroyed, he allows you to target a card on the field and destroy it.
Can you tribute a monster summoned by Instant Fusion? Pretty sure you can, because that's what Metamorphosis used to do. Right? I'm pretty sure. It would make sense. It's just we could put so many restrictions on cards these days. It's trying to remember which ones are where. Yeah, that's actually what's just being.
Yeah, so our feature match judge here has just given it a double check.
Yeah, we look good.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure. So he's gonna send Patheism and the Prime Monarch there.
Yeah, he's going to be set up for the for some pretty big plays, and we also see Bradley. Bradley's also got his Prime Monarch in the graveyard as well. So
yeah, we're not going to see any lethal plays this turn, I think.
I don't think you're going to be seeing any for a while. They sort of like most of their decks left, based on how last year went. Very, very grindy game.
Yeah.
That's again, that's just something that's a problem with the grind games. I know some players really appreciate that style of play, but you do take a lot of time damage, and you will playing really heavily grinding decks. You run the risk of actually running into time problems.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when both decks are kind of, as soon as they get going, people think that Monarch is quite a what people call a bricky deck. You can sometimes open just all of your big Monarchs and not be able to do anything with them. But in these games here, both of these players have both opened enough to get going, and as soon as you get going, then you're fine.
It's like you see with like the old Infernoids decks. It's like once you get over a threshold, you can actually just make all of your plays very freely, but you just need to get out of the early game.
Yep. Yeah, just getting that little bit of setup.
Oh, and I think time has been called on the round. I can see them reaching for the dice.
Yeah, I've just been informed by our judge that it's time on the round, so we're only into turn 2 of game 2. They spent a full 40 minutes in just one game.
Yeah, it was a tough game. That was
a really tough game.
Lots of back and forth, but
yeah,
that's just the way this seems to have gone. This is why I miss old Cosmo sometimes. You just see like the Ryan would just be like the action was just all there when you saw like Peter Gross playing, because no one really knew what the Cosmo deck was trying to do, and it was like, oh wait, this could just destroy itself and then search for more cards.
Yeah, so we're gonna have the dice out here. Okay, so this is the first turn of time.
There's that Instant Fusion may have a big drawback to Sam.
Yeah, if Bradley can just wall up here. We were talking about this earlier, all the way in our first feature match.
Oliver Newton, also playing Monarchs actually.
Yeah, I think Oliver's doing really well still.
He's still in contention?
Yeah, so let me just have a quick look. Yeah, he's around table 54, so there's about X1 maybe?
X1, X2?
X1, X2, still possible.
Anybody else we'd recognise in the top? I think Jake has dropped. I did take a quick look on social media and saw one of his posts that would suggest that he's out of the tournament.
Yeah, so just a few names, just the people I recognise. I might miss some people. So Nathan Mills, he's been around the regional circuit quite a lot. Will Lucas, our counter fairy player, is still
he's on table
20. He's on table 20. So
that's very high. That's definitely X1.
Definitely X1. Definitely pretty high. Bradley Haywood, our 4th place national champion last year, he's on table 23. That's pretty high. Henry Graham, he's known for playing off the wall decks up north. Who else we got? Luke Parks, our feature match from last round. He's on table 3 against Davian McClinley. We also have Merlin Schumacher over from Europe playing in the UK National Championships.
Yeah, he recently moved to the UK not too long ago. Is he doing really well?
Yeah, he's actually on table 4.
Table 4, wow, so he's XO.
Yeah.
Could he still be XO and not on table 1 at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's the top 5 tables. Yeah, about the top 5 tables will be XO still.
Yeah, we don't actually have the ability to tell you what everyone's playing in these slots, but I'm sure we'll find out in the very near future.
Yeah. I mean, some other mentions. So Tom Payne, he's on table 36. We had him on stream as well. Who else have we got? People who we've featured.
Carl Blake's still in contention, right? We did some pre-recorded content. I don't believe you guys have had a chance to see that one yet, but you'll probably catch up with him a little later.
Yeah, Carl Blake's on table 74.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, really good. Who else have we got?
Tom Watabiki, another UK player. I think he dropped out of the tournament a while ago.
He dropped as well. Okay, so let's have another look at this game. So I think that Bradley's still on his turn, and Sam must have used Ether at some point during the turn to disrupt his play. Duncan Harbison is so he was the guy who was playing the crazy Beatrice deck.
The one that fizzled the first time we showed it.
Yeah, he's actually X1. So
that was the only round he lost.
He's dropped.
that pile of cards is still there. Wow,
Yeah,
I've got to give that guy massive props. I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see the standings right in front of me.
Yeah, so he's on table 28. That'll be quite low X1, but still X1. We got Dale Hawks as well. He does really, really well at regionals. I think he did really well at last year's nationals as well. We've got Jared Stone. For those who don't know Jared Stone, he was actually the person. He recently had an article done online about. He was the person who created the idea of playing Ultimaya to Zolkin in the Monarch deck.
Oh. Because I saw quite a few people in Japan doing that, but I haven't seen a lot of that happening over here.
Yeah, so it was Jared who created the deck. He was the first person to create that deck.
Oh, globally?
Yes, yeah. It was he got picked up by Jason Grabenmeyer.
Jason! I haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen Jason in a while either.
He's really a great guy. I've worked with him before.
Yeah, so Jason picked him up and did an article on Jared about how important that was for the meta.
Oh, it was. It made it my favourite card from Shining Victories, Clearwing Crystal Synchro Dragon. Very, very viable choice, and it basically puts your opponent on a one-turn chance to respond, because if they don't deal with it, then you're just going to get another dragon, and you're going to get an extra negation off of your Crystal Wing. We're going to see the attempt at the Volcasaurus play.
So our Modology player is actually on table 26 as well, so he's all the way up there, really high X1, or potentially, no, he won't be an X, so he will be X1, so he's X1 as well. It's like we've got that curse. Every single person who ends up off the feature match is X1.
Well, it looks like we picked him correctly this time.
Yeah.
You always get that with Oliver, and the feature matches he picks, and you actually think like, the number of them that make day 2 or even the top cut is a really high percentage for the matches of people that get featured. And we do get asked actually, how do we pick the feature matches? And for your interest, we actually just look at the standings. We get a bit of information about what decks people are playing. We try and pick. Early rounds we're kind of looking for more interesting decks from well-known players. Because in the later rounds, when you look at the top of the standings, the good players are going to generally just be in the top rankings. And we know sometimes the best deck in the format might be, for example, Cosmo, But we're expecting to show you Cosmo Mirror matches a lot tomorrow, so we try to avoid doing it too much.
Yeah, a lot of Monarchs as well, even though we are showing that now.
Yeah, we're doing it two rounds in a row, which is something we don't always do. Well, we try to avoid it a little bit, but it depends on the matchup, because sometimes you might get like a Peter Gross versus, I don't know, pick... Who was Joshua Schmidt or something? There you go. I was trying to think of his name and I couldn't for some reason.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Sometimes we don't have perfect information about the decks that we're featuring. We just know that we've got a well-known player. Usually they're playing something interesting.
We also do look at the chat, and if we do get requests, we do try to honour them if it kind of lines up with what we're aiming for. Which is, for example, what we saw Will Lucas earlier, because so many people were asking to see him on the stream. This is still turn 1 of time.
Yeah. So Upstart Goblin's very late in the game to be seeing an Upstart Goblin.
Well, you look at the life point deficit there, and it's pretty safe to use it.
Yeah. So I think that was a Reflector I saw in hand, so that's gonna benefit Bradley, end in this turn.
He tributes for an Ether, which...
Well, Ether's gonna deal with it, but it's just he's not gonna go with Stormforth.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm just saying if he
the big one.
summons an Ether, he'll get another Monarch off of that as well, and that's quite a bit of damage. Actually, 28 on its own, 3,000 would equalise.
For those people who are asking, Nadir is actually on table 178.
So slightly better than he was expecting to do on 500, right?
Yeah, he was expecting to be on table 500, but yes, he is.
That's
I think he's
X2
out
or
of the
X3
rings
at this point.
Yeah, I think he's out of the running at this point. Yeah, so let's see if Sam can break this puzzle here. He's going to know that there's a magic deflector sat there, something.
Some kind of trickery.
Yeah. Yeah, again, these guys have just gone. It's only been 3 turns and they've gone through so much of their deck in just 3 turns.
Tell you what's not the problem in this match. Card of Demise. Something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. So yeah, the sun is really closing up here in Derby.
Yeah, it's just sort of we're creeping up to the end of the day.
So Sam is going to search for this Stormforth. It must be getting late in the day and he's just not read that. He must think it must be a Stormforth or something.
Well, you consider all of his other available options. Maybe that's just all he
Maybe
has.
that's the best option, yeah.
Because you can't really use just a normal summon on a Karaz to clear the cards out.
No.
I don't know if he would have decided if he has access to any of his Twin Twisters.
So let's see, Sam's going to play this Monarch Stormforth here. He's going to think that he's going to actually be able to gain some traction from this, and it's just going to get shut straight down by that Magic Deflector.
Okay, we're going to go domain first, so he can still make 1 tribute. Even
Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe he's going to Deflector it.
He doesn't Deflector.
Ooh. Interesting. Oh, the Veiler. Big Veiler coming out there. That was a big Veiler.
Still going to equalise the life points just on these 2 attacks, because...
Yeah, he is going to be able to equalise the life points, but I think, well, maybe not. He's got Prime, hasn't he? So Bradley's going to be able to block one of those attacks with Prime.
Ah, yeah, that's a good point.
The big thing here is that
and he risks getting hit by Volcasaurus again if he leaves either of these guys on.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
then again,
now both players know that both players know that each other are playing double Volcasaurus.
It's absolutely something to keep in mind. There's a massive amount of burn damage, so you're trying to play around them with the ethers.
Apologies, the air conditioning is just cooling the room down. Makes quite a lot of noise.
Actually, we turned it off to try and keep it, which is kind of why we're hoping for a slightly shorter round. In between rounds, we use it to cool the room down so we don't just like bake and die in here. But
yeah, it's getting pretty warm.
But you know, we're still going. Still going strong.
Okay, so he attacks over here, and then is he gonna take that? We're in time, Bradley. We're in time. What are you doing? No, he's gonna block.
Yeah,
Block. Big block. I remember back when we were only allowed to play 3 Necro Gardeners.
And nobody did. I remember. Actually, I did in my Dark Arms return deck that I won a regional with. I was playing Cyber Valleys, and I was actually playing I think 2 Necro Gardener, because it let you, if your opponent Dark Armed you, you just couldn't lose because you could still negate the attacks.
Yeah.
And then if you played Dimension Fusion, if you brought back a Dasher, you could tribute the Necro Gardener, gain the attack pump to attack over Dark Armed Dragon, and you kept a negation in your graveyard to stop your opponent's next attack. I mean, it was pretty neat, and Necro Gardener was a huge part of the Lightsworn meta, because it stopped your opponent's double Judgment Dragon actually killing you in that turn.
Yeah.
And it actually allowed you to follow up with your own Judgment Dragon and win.
Yeah, it was all about who could stick that Judgment Dragon on the field at the end.
Although that's a deck that a lot of people seem to absolutely hate due to it being quite dependent on which cards you're sending from your deck to the graveyard to work. We're going to see another attempt at Volcasaurus.
I think so. Okay, so we've actually just had a quick update from down on the floor.
Down in the pits. Wait, is that what you call it? What, down in the trenches. Trenches, that's probably better, right?
Okay, so down on the floor, the top 8 at the start of this round was Anti-Meta, Dracopals, Cliffort, Cypherame, Monarchs, Cliffort, then a couple of Cosmo decks.
Here's a question. Anti-meta. Do we have any more information on what that is? Just that it's anti-meta?
Yeah, so we'll try and get a little more information about that.
But no, it's interesting to see double Draco Pels. In fact, the top 3 are neither Monarch or Cosmo in the actual top 4 even. And Cypherame.
Cypherame, yeah. We were going to feature him last round.
Why didn't we?
Yeah, we just couldn't feature him last round.
Okay. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, maybe we can try and get him on the last round if he's still winning.
I think it'd be like X1 even if he loses this round.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, maybe we should. I'm going to do a poll in the chat and see if you guys want to see just a top cut, kind of like, you know, at the top of the range of the tables, or whether you guys want to see someone who's kind of almost in the running for being kicked out.
I think if it's on the top tables, it's either going to be this anti-meta plus versus Dracopels or Dracopels versus Dracopels, right?
Yeah, or potentially the Cypherame as well. Could
or Cypherame or Cleo.
Could grab the Cypherame.
Clee could get in there.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the Volcasaurus was successful.
Yeah. Which is really putting Sam down on life points here. Yeah, so we guys hear you. We're gonna try and not show Monarchs next round. We've seen quite a few Monarchs past few rounds.
Considering the other options I'm looking at here, yeah, we'll make something work.
Yeah, definitely. So I've just had a bit more information about the anti-meta deck list.
It's barrier statues, isn't it?
It's barrier. It's barrier. What? He's playing 3 fossil dino. No, it's just straight up old school anti-meta.
So basically, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Dot deck.
He's playing fossil dinos, Banisher of the Radiance, Kaikus. He's playing an artifact package. He's playing Thunder King Ryo.
And he's XO?
He's XO. He's playing triple plot of duality, triple compromise. He's playing Gold Sarcophagus.
What a hero. What's his name?
It's Merlin.
Merlin Schumacher. Okay.
And then he's playing 20 trap cards.
You know what? Card of Demise. Why not?
Well, yeah, he's played triple card of demise, triple pot of duality.
Yeah, those cards go synergize very well together. You get to overlap restrictions. We can see a Twin Twister chain.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Oh, Magic Deflector. Okay.
There's the deflector hitting those twin twizzers. I don't. Oh, okay. He double attacked, so they both.
Yeah.
both
Oh,
got sent
he
to
was
the graveyard.
expecting his field spell to give the attack bonus, but obviously Magic Reflector.
Yeah, either way, that was going to go badly because they had twin twisters as well.
Oh, so here he was either losing it to the Twin Twisters, or he was just not going to be able to use the effect this turn.
Yeah.
Tenacity of the Monarchs. He reveals an Erebus from his hand, and goes into the deck for a Monarch Storm 4 Effect Leaf, which are the only Monarch cards left in his deck.
Yeah.
He discards Return to get back Erebus, which is what we see. Oh no. Ether? Oh yes, of course, Erebus can add back any Monarch. This is turn 4 in time.
Yeah, they're really struggling through the turns of time here.
See, because if Sam loses this game, the match will end in a draw.
Yeah.
He goes, yes, he's got 2 Erebus, and that's a GG right there. So we're going to see this match end in a draw.
Yeah. That's the first draw that we've had on the feature match this this national championships. So yeah, I've got my information here. I'm gonna do a poll for you guys for next round, so you can pick whatever match you want to see. Yeah, so we've got a wide range of choice.
Yeah, that's a surprisingly large amount, and yet we somehow still managed to end up with a Monarch Mirror for that round.
Yeah, so we unfortunately only just got this information about
Actually,
the top 8, yeah.
Despite some of the jabs I've taken, I do actually want to give really good credit to Bradley Wood and Samuel here, because they did play that match very well. They played it exactly as they should. It took a while, but you know what? They were playing a very fantastic game. Neither of them made any big mistakes.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap up here briefly. Since we're quite a bit into time, we might be back we'll be back very soon. So stay with us.